Hey folks, it's me, Denny Carter from NBC Sports, joining you once again for the Friday Fantasy Football Q&A, where you give me the Q's, I give you the A's. All of them correct, by the way. You can look it up. Just, do a Google search. Has Denny Carter ever gotten a start-sit question wrong? No. Ask artificial intelligence. It'll tell you the same thing. Listen, I want to start the show, and I see the chat is filling up with questions. I will get to those. I promise. We have an hour. All right, and you have to excuse my voice. Getting over the vid, as the kids say. The vid has infected my body, and it's been rough. I'm not gonna lie with to the folks. It has not been a great week for me health wise. As you can hear. But we are slowly getting our taste and smell back, and we are slowly being able to walk small distances without being totally gassed. I want to start with Alvin Kamara and PPR scoring. We need to have this dialogue. We need to have a dialogue, as Charles Barkley would say. So I said on X, formerly known as Twitter, during the Saints' loss to the Jaguars on Thursday night. Really thought they were going to pull that one out. Anyway, I mentioned that the whole Saints offense is just dump offs to Kamara. I think everybody saw that. Okay, Kamara is leading the league in running back targets. He started playing in week 4. Okay, this is an incredible stat. I mean, he could literally be outside the top like 25 or 30 rushers on the season and still finish possibly as the overall RB1 in PPR formats. Okay, that's how things are going for the Saints offense. Okay, it's not good for the offense. And folks said to me, "Well, I don't care. I have Kamara and I like it because I'm scoring a lot of fantasy points." And to that I say, good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm a longtime advocate of PPR scams. I love a scam. Okay? We love our scams. It's like a cheat code. Look at fantasy football is, and I'm breaking news here. You're not going to hear this anywhere else, okay? But mom and pop media shop, NBC Sports, is giving me this platform, and I appreciate that. The mainstream media suppresses this fact. Fantasy football is a game. It's a game. And in games, you find ways to kind of cheat, kind of get around, the competition. And part of that is finding a guy like Alvin Kamara who's doing nothing, adding nothing, no value whatsoever to his team, nothing. And it's great for us. It's amazing to just get 30 PPR points for a guy who is getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage every single time he carries the ball and is getting tackled immediately upon being touched by anyone after a reception. Okay. And it's working fine. So I want to just be clear because, Kamara drafters have been very defensive over the past 24 hours with me, 12 hours, however long it's been. It's hard to say. No way to know, but they've been very defensive. Well, so you're just jealous you don't have Kamara. And yeah, I am jealous. I don't have Kamara anywhere. I felt like he was a horrible pick. Like process-wise, it was just a miserable pick in redraft. And he's going to win leagues. I'm not happy about that, about me not having any Alvin Kamara. But I just want, I'm on your side. I like the PPR scam. I'm not one of these guys who says like fantasy football should reflect real football. You should have to fight for your points. No. Mm-mm. Nope. Give me all the easy points. Okay. All the easy points. The same dudes who would say that are the same ones who are like, oh no kickers in fantasy football. Kickers, they're not tough. They're not getting hit. They're not suffering brain injuries. We don't want them in fantasy football. And only real leagues, only legitimate leagues have kickers in them. All right. Let's get to your questions. Not a question, but Jim says, I played Taysom Hill. Thanks for the, oh, hey, there you go. Yeah. I mean, look, Taysom Hill is playing traditional tight end role. He's getting some rushing attempts, including critically rushing attempts in the green zone inside the 10-yard line. I would say Taysom Hill should be valued in fantasy above everyone except for Andrews and Kelsey. There's no one else. I'd play Taysom Hill over Darren Waller. I'd play him over Kittle. Play him over Hawkinson. Yeah, maybe not Hawkinson. Maybe not. It would be good if Hawkinson caught a pass. That would be good. He's amazingly dropped 44 passes in a row. It's something, again, you won't hear about in the media, but I'm reporting it. Anyway, yeah, so I'm playing Taysom Hill until further notice, until things change or whatever with the Saints offense. And maybe they will. I'm playing him over everyone except for Hawkinson, Andrews, and Kelsey. That's it. There you go. Rushman was first. I want to note that. All right. This person is down horrific at running back. I love that phrase, down horrific. We just found, I love creative ways to say down bad, right? Down nightmarish, down unfathomably, things of that nature. Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell somehow, but I'm scared of waiting until Monday. Should I stay strong or go with McKinnon or Latavius? Latavius is not a bad play, just in a vacuum, okay? If you're stuck in a vacuum, then Latavius is a decent play because, hey, look, he basically last week with Damian Harris out, and by the way, Damian Harris is going to be out for week 7 against New England. It was a 2-man backfield split between James Cook and Latavius Murray. And when I say split, I do actually mean a split down the middle of both pass catching work and rushing work. Okay. And Latavius is seeing most of the green zone action. So you could make the argument that Latavius Murray is a better fantasy option than James Cook. Okay. I don't know what to tell you about the Niners backfield, except for the fact that Kyle Shanahan was pretty clear this week. I think it was on Tuesday. He said, look, the reason Jordan Mason functioned as the lead back last week when McCaffrey went down, the reason that happened was because Elijah Mitchell only got in one limited practice last week. And because look, let's just be honest. Elijah Mitchell's always banged up. Always. Okay. I know folks don't want to talk about injury prone or whatever, but come on, man. At some point, we have to acknowledge reality. Some of the, a running back like Mitchell is literally always hurt. And there's never a time when he's not hurt. So he's still hurt. He's going to play. I could see this being, 60-40 split with Mitchell in the lead. Does that mean much? I guess not. I mean, Jordan Mason is definitely better. That unfortunately, that doesn't matter at all. So what am I trying to say here? I kind of lean Murray. I'd lean Murray. All right. Assuming Roschon Johnson is out, you can assume that Deontay, Zach Evans, or Jeff Wilson. I'd go with Deontay. I think Deontay could just see like 20 plus touches in this game. All right. Greetings to you. London, Jones, Watson, who would you start at flex? That's a lot. Really good flex options, brother. Wow. I am jealous. Incredibly. I'd probably go Aaron Jones unless there's some sort of setback. His last setback cost me dearly in redraft. Whew. Man. Whew. Gonna be recovering from that one for a while. I'd go with Jones. If we hear anything about like, oh, Jones will be limited or he hurt his hamstring again or whatever, then go with London. Drake London, if I could read from my regression files this week 7 regression files, which you can find on NBC Sports. Here's a little something I'm going to read to the class, if you guys don't mind, about the Falcons offense. Okay. There is a mitigating factor that could help stabilize pass catching production for Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Jonnu Smith, and Bijan Robinson. The Falcons are being forced at long last to ease off the monstrously run-heavy approach they abided by in 2022. The team's drop-back rate over expected over their past 3 games, which is negative 3%, is well above their 2022 rate of negative 23%. Okay? The Falcons did not have a single game last season with a drop back rate over expected of higher than negative 4%. What I'm trying to say here is that something is happening with the Falcons, and it's creating pass volume. It's creating target volume for primarily Drake London, and other guys will benefit, but London is good, and now he has a chance for, I don't know, double-digit targets every week. Unless the Falcons get out to a big lead, and I guess that would be game's over for Drake London. But don't, I guess don't dismiss the last 2 weeks as like super fluky. I don't think they are. I think that the volume could still be there because I think the gig is up for Arthur Smith. He thought he'd get away with it, folks, but we got him. We got him. We forced him to throw the ball. This is my noir detective voice. Been working on it. I think you can tell. All right. Non-PPR league. Olave and Devontae Smith are killing me. I believe it. Need a replacement for Fields. Gino, Mayfield. Blah, 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 blah. Gino. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's very, very nice. Trina. In DC, possibly. So Geno Smith was in the regression files. Basically, the Seahawks passing game has been a disaster in the red zone this year. And if they get anywhere close back to normal, to how they were functioning last year, they don't even have to get back to the 2022 rates. But if they could get somewhere close to that, Geno becomes a much better fantasy option. Let's put it that way. I know things have been rough with old Geno. Kyle, do the Saints even run real pass routes, or is the plan just to check it down to Kamara? There was nobody running downfield except for Chris Olave. And by the way, Olave is sick of this Derek Carr thing. I mean, he's done. You could just tell that the body language of Chris Olave is off the charts bad, real bad. And I don't blame him. I mean, who can watch Derek Carr last night and say, oh, Chris Olave's got to get it going? I get it. Chris, if you're listening, I get it. This person is in bye week. Heck. Jeff Wilson or Gibbs. You're starting Gibbs. So Dan Campbell claims, I guess this is worth noting here. Dan Campbell claims that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to play after missing last week. I believe it's a hamstring. Hard to say. No way to know. And with David Montgomery out, Dan Campbell, well, let me just read you the quote. That would probably be better than me just paraphrasing. All right, here we go. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said Jahmyr Gibbs will take the load of rushing attempts in week 7 against the Ravens. Quote, I'd like to say we'll be careful with him, but the reality of it is we need him. So we'll go as far as he can take us. He's ready, Campbell said of Gibbs. It seems to be happening. I don't think that this means that like Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be like fed like goal line touches. I think Craig Reynolds still probably gets those. those looks with David Montgomery out with a rib injury. But if you have Jahmyr Gibbs, I know it's been miserable. And if you're still alive or whatever, I mean, you're still alive. You're still fine. You're fine. It's early in the season. It's not even Halloween, despite me wearing a Halloween shirt. One of my favorite shirts. My kids apparently don't know about the peanuts, which makes me a bad dad, I think. Oh, well, nevertheless. So if you have Gibbs, you're playing him. You got to play him. Got to play him. All right. Devontae regression. Yeah. Look, Zach Attack, listen. We are manifesting Devontae Smith regression bigly this week, okay? I mean, he was real close to having a huge day against the Jets, okay? He dropped 2 passes, one of which probably would have gone for a long touchdown. My redraft teams could have used that in the worst way, brother. Oof. That was a drop where you feel like you might just fall. You just might fall to your knees and say, God, why me? Why? 11 targets, only caught 5 of them against the Jets. AJ Brown is like the clear alpha receiver here. There's no doubt about that. We talked about it with Kyle and Roto Pat on the show on Thursday. You check that out wherever podcasts are sold. But yeah, I do like Devontae this week. No Hill over Laporta. I mentioned the tight ends I would play over Taysom. I mean, Laporta's close-ish to that tier. I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, Taysom. I know people don't want to acknowledge it. Like, I know it's because it's weird. This insistence that the Saints have on like incorporating Taysom Hill into every part of their offense, like especially in the red zone. I know that's weird, almost off-putting to folks. I do understand that, but it's so valuable. I mean, just insanely valuable for fantasy. So, yeah, I guess you start Laporta over Taysom. It's close though. It's closer than you think. All right, Kyle. Trade Lamar, Madison, Ford. Ooh, Thomas. That's hard for me to digest at the moment. Yeah, I would do that. I mean, usually the fantasy manager giving up the most players wins because you're trying to acquire the best player here, which is DeAndre Swift. So that would work. Patrick, this may take you a while, but your thoughts on the Rams running backs, man. I mean, the movie Oppenheimer is actually about the U.S. government's attempts to understand the Rams' backfield splits with Kyren Williams out. I don't know if you guys saw the movie, but that's what it broke down to. It was like, how is Sean McVay going to distribute the touches and the snaps in this backfield with Kyren Williams out? I think Zach Evans is probably in line to be the lead back, but just like nominally, like barely. I like Myles Gaskin. Listen, Myles Gaskin, he has been a thing for fantasy. I know he's bounced around. He was cut by the Dolphins, went to the Vikings, couldn't get off the Vikings practice squad despite Alexander Madison being bad. But he's a system knower. That guy, let me tell you one thing about Myles Gaskin. He knows a system. And you know what system he knows? He knows the McVay system. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if he emerges. I think he should be rostered in most 12-team leagues here, but you can't play him with any confidence. You shouldn't play him at all, I don't think, this week. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what we're talking about, but yeah, Mayer and Otten. I mean, they're both going to be touchdown dependent options. I would hold Roschon Johnson for now. Christian Watson, Adams, or Jonathan Taylor? That's a good question. I think go with Adams. Look, I know Adams. It's sucked having Adams on your team this year. I posted the other day that Jacoby Myers is dominating first read targets. I know folks are torn about whether first read targets are something we should look into strongly or something we should completely ignore. I tend to think that they do mean something as far as how an offense is functioning and how a pass catcher is valued by the offense and is seen by the offense. Okay. So we might not like it, but Jacoby Myers is being treated as the wide receiver one. Now, Devontae Adams came out and talked to an ESPN reporter this week and said, hey, I don't like being the wide receiver two on my own team. So his wheel is squeaking, folks. It is squeaking real loud. Okay. I'm in Maryland. This guy's in Vegas. I can hear it from here. You can hear it. Just everybody be quiet and listen. Squeaking wheel. Devontae's squeaking bad. Okay. So I would think that he'll see a bunch of targets from Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell, whoever starts for the down horrifically bad Raiders. All right. Jonathan, if healthy, Craig Reynolds or Jeff Wilson. I'd go with Craig Reynolds, honestly. Don't get caught up in the Jeff Wilson thing quite yet. Go with, if that's Deontay Johnson, go with him. I want to talk about Deontay Johnson for just a second, okay? All right. Deontay Johnson, the one thing he does is earns targets and earns lots of them, okay? That's great. He doesn't do much with them, but we don't care. Again, like Kamara doesn't do anything with his targets. Johnson doesn't do anything with it. That's okay. That's okay. We like that. George Pickens with Deontay on the field is targeted on only 15% of his routes, okay, over the past season and a half or whatever. With Deontay off the field, that jumps to 25% for Pickens. 25, he's targeted on 25% of his routes. So this is real bad for Pickens. It doesn't mean that you can't play Pickens. It just means that if he doesn't hit the long ball or two, it's probably not happening for Pickens as a 12-team option. Deontay Johnson is playing against a Rams defense, giving up a league high 41% target share to slot wide receivers. Okay. So Deontay Johnson's in a great spot this week to just be a total scam. And again, I am pro scam. I love a scam. And Deontay Johnson is going to scam the heck out of your fantasy leagues this week, folks. All right. Tampa defense or Green Bay. I'd go with the Packers because they're playing the Broncos, brother. Osborne or Gabe Davis. I'd go with Gabe Davis. Osborne's out there a lot, but I don't know. But then again, the Vikings will be forced to pass a lot. Oh God. Oh, this is hard. This is a hard one. Why do you have to give me a hard one? I'm sick. Yeah, Gabe Davis. I'd go with Gabe Davis. All right. Yep. Oh, there you go. Thoughts on DJ Moore? Well, the greatest quarterback in Shepherd University history is now slinging it to. Yeah, that's right, folks. Tyser. Oh, that was a good start. Tyson Bagent is starting for the Bears. I don't know about this kid. Okay. He apparently has that dog in him. I guess that's good. I'm treating DJ Moore as like a top 36 option, but nothing more than that. I have him in a league where I also have Addison, McLaurin, Devontae, and St. Brown. And I can start 4 receivers. And I have those 4, and I have more. And I'm benching more. I hope that gives you some idea of how I'm viewing DJ Moore with Justin Fields out of the lineup. Will Tyler Lockett and Metcalf finish as top 25 receivers for the 4th consecutive? I don't know. Maybe not. I think the Seahawks offense will probably regress in the coming weeks. The good kind of regression. Uh, oh, there you go. Yeah. Right. Gotcha. Romeo Dobbs or Josh Palmer. Uh, I would go Palmer. I mean, Palmer is actually seeing like most of the air yards in this offense, which is really bleak. Really bleak for the Chargers. Chargers down bad. Everybody's down bad. And Romeo Dobbs, he got away with it so well in the first 3 weeks. I tried to tell folks on the internet that couldn't last. The Dobbs Jordan Love scam that was going on, that couldn't last. And I was shouted down. I'll be honest, it hurt my feelings. I have a really reasonable argument, folks. Like, none of their underlying stats are good. This is all gonna fall. This is a house of cards. That's what I said. I didn't say that, but I thought it. I thought it many times. House of cards. House of cards fell. So, that's what happens. Yeah, go Josh Palmer. All right. Trade offered to me, Pacheco and Jonathan Taylor for Josh Allen. I have CMC. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I actually don't. I know. No. If it's a one quarterback league, then don't do that deal. If it's 2 quarterback, then yes. There you go. The Bills just don't use James Cook. Right. Look, the Cook thing is frustrating because, but the Bills do this, right? We talked about it on the Rotoworld football show the other day. Like, the Bills split their backfield until like December or January, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we should probably just play our best running back." They did that with Devin Singletary back-to-back seasons. They didn't even learn from it. They did it back-to-back seasons where they had him split the backfield with Damian Harris or whoever. Is that right? No, he split it with Zach Moss and someone else. I can't even remember. It was very frustrating. And then they were like, "Oh, right. Singletary's our best back. We should probably use him." And he was really good. And James Cook, when I say that he's splitting the backfield with Latavius Murray, it's not because Latavius is incredibly effective. In fact, you'd be shocked to know this, he has not been effective, and James Cook has been very effective. I think the Bills are a smart team. I think eventually they'll come around on James Cook. All right, Cris. I'm hoping I'm feeling better too. Zach Moss, Zach Evans, or Gabe Davis for the flex. Oof. Go with Gabe Davis. Question 2: if Aaron Jones doesn't play, Moss or Evans? I'd go Moss, but I think Aaron Jones will play. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, just for those who didn't see, this is my Charles Schultz Halloween Peanuts Charlie Brown shirt. I love that special. Do you guys remember who's old enough to remember when you used to have to be in front of a TV at a certain time to watch something? And this is one of those things that I remember, doing that for, where you would see, the Charlie Brown Halloween special comes on whatever network at 8 p.m. Eastern or whatever. And you're like, "Oh, I got to see it. Mom, I got to be home in time. You got to pick me up from basketball practice, get me home in time because I got to see that special." I've tried to explain this to my kids that you used to have to like schedule your day or your night around being able to see something on TV, and they actually can't comprehend it. I'm not joking. This is not like a bit. Like they don't know what I mean. I'm like, so okay, all right. For instance, Power Rangers, I think, came on at 4:00 Eastern time. Okay, so that means that I had to be home from school and in front of a TV by 4:00, or I simply would not see the Power Rangers episode for that day. And they're like, well, you could just watch it on the app later. No, kids. No, it was over at that point. I said, you could record it on a VHS, at which point they went into a coma. That's my story. All right. Yeah, exactly. Mike Evans or DJ Moore rest of season. I mean, probably Evans, because I would say Justin Fields is going to be out for a long time. Although he's not supposed to have surgery, but I still don't. I don't like how that injury is going. I mean, he basically broke his thumb on his throwing hand. It's Jover. He's holding a kicker over the bye week. Stupid. I'm not going to cast aspersions, Jim. I'm not going to tell people they're stupid for certain roster decisions. I'll tell them they're wrong and insane and morally compromised. But I won't call them stupid. I refuse. We don't cast aspersions. Are you idiotic? Yes. Are you brainless? Possibly. You're not stupid. Okay, we're nice on this stream. Don't hold Brandon Aubrey. You'll be all right. You'll be all right at kicker. A kicker question. Yes. Is Jason Sanders this year's Jake Elliott, where the Dolphins score so many touchdowns with little field goal attempts? Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins have been lights out in the red zone. That's been rough. Okay, Jason Sanders, per the process, is a fantastic fantasy option week in and week out, just like Jake Elliott was in 2022. And Jake Elliott ended up not being a fantasy factor at all. Sanders is the same deal. You know, I think you can keep starting him, but like, I do tend to think that there's no reason to, like, you know, beat your head against a wall. On this stream, I do not advocate for beating one's head against a wall, any wall. Okay. And so, you know, you can look at my streaming kickers, which I include in Kyle Dvorak's waiver column. And get guys who will see lots of neutral and positive game script. So I'd be okay if you went away from Sanders, is what I'm saying. I will allow that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've lost the thread there. Zacadeg, what's all this noise about Michael Mayer? Is it a Halloween thing? I see what you did. I can hear the Halloween theme playing in my head, folks. By the way, all the new Halloween movies are on the Peacock app. The new trilogy with Jamie Lee Curtis. You can check that out. Love to watch those. All right. What's your best guess on which week Kyler Murray takes over for Dobbs? I don't think we can put week 8 out of the question. I'm not sure when the Cardinals bye is, so we'll have to see. You know, week 8 probably not, but maybe, and then beyond that, I think that it's the Kyler takeover. And let me tell you, brother, my best ball teams are going to need that. On a lot of my Anthony Richardson best ball teams, I took Kyler with the idea that if Richardson wasn't it, that Kyler could help me out. I didn't think that I would not get any points from Richardson for most of the season. Nevertheless, who do you prefer rest of the season? Non-PPR, Chuba or Roshan? Chuba. Do you have any kicker advice? Keep Matt Gay. No. I will come to your house and I will change your roster for you if you try to play Matt Gay against the Browns. Do not do it, folks. Do not do that. I mean, Matt Gay is like a fringe streaming option anyway, so I don't know about all that. Joey Sly is a good play. Groupie was a good play. The process. I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, McLaughlin from Tampa is also a good play, but don't play Matt Gay this week. All right, Davis, Sutton, Johnson, or Wilson. Deontay, yeah, Deontay. Should I start Jeff Wilson? I mean, look, Jeff Wilson's range of outcomes for this week against Philadelphia includes like 4 carries. So just be careful with that. I'd go with Foreman over Zach Evans for sure. I'm being offered Achane and Godwin. Achane and Godwin for Puka. Yes. Yes. Do that. Because Achane will be back. I think Godwin can be, viable. And, look, is Puka going to be fine-ish? Yeah. But, Cooper Kupp is dominating receiving opportunity for the Rams right now. All the underlying stats are just insanely in favor of Cooper Kupp. I'd have to go with Russell Wilson over Josh Dobbs this week. So Charbonnet is banged up. Charbonnet's banged up, but he would be, I think that he would be the RB1 if Ken Walker were to go down, and Charbonnet is no longer banged up. Bourne is interesting because the Patriots seem to realize that he's their best receiver, which is good. It's good when teams realize that. He's running a lot of routes, so if you need him, if you need to play Bourne, keep him. Puka, James Cook, or Jonathan Taylor. I'd go with Puka. All right. Oh my gosh. This is not bye week. Heck. Come on. This is your version of bye week HE double hockey sticks? Huh? Addison or Pickens? That sounds amazing. It's Addison. I think it's Addison. I really do like Addison. I wrote him up in the regression files. Thank you. We love our kickers. Who I start? Jordan Love against Denver or don't get cute. Look, I've told you this before, guys. On this stream, we get cute, but we don't get too cute. All right. Excessive cuteness is not welcomed here. We won't have it. I won't have it. And Adrian, this is too cute by half. Don't get cute with me. Justin Herbert, you're going to take your 12 points and you're going to like it. All right. Your opinion on who is starting if CMC is out. Oh, I talked about the Niners backfield. Rewind the tape, Robert, and check out my diatribe there. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Touchdown defensive scene. What would you start? Philadelphia. Oh man, that's a lot of options. I don't know. Just go with the Packers. I don't know. Don't know about. I do not know about the Rainmaker thing. Sorry. Browns or 49ers defense. I go. You're going with Browns. You're going with Browns. Javonte Williams, Zach Moss, or no, DeMarcado is not in the conversation. Just so you guys know, I go with Javonte. I feel like I'm underselling these Colts running backs because I don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to say. Look, last week Moss and Taylor combined for 13 targets, which is outrageous. They caught 11 of those. That's crazy. If one of the oh my gosh, I'm gonna rub my face like you should on camera all the time. So I don't know what to say about these Colts running backs. I feel more comfortable with Javonte Williams. Let's put it that way. How am I feeling about Kyler Murray's productivity? I'm a little hesitant, honestly, because a big part of his game is being super mobile and scurrying around. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that on the bum knee, but we'll see. Getting back to the only 90s kids remember portion of the show. I remember having a tape recorder next to the radio in case a song came on that I wanted to listen to later. Man, holy cow. That's only 80s kids remember. I mean, wow. That's a good one. Oh, here we go. We're going to keep going with this. Yeah, you run to the thing. It was the same thing for me with Goosebumps. Goosebumps, which by the way came back recently on Hulu. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on this stream. Whoops. But yeah, so Goosebumps used to be on network TV. I think Fox. It used to air on Halloween and then afterward, and I would make sure that my butt was in front of the TV for every Goosebumps episode. That was appointment viewing. Logan Thomas or Musgrave. I'd go with Musgrave. Oh yeah. I talked about Drake London a little earlier. I talked about the Falcons offense sort of changing for the better, I think. And so I think London is a way better option than DJ Moore going forward. Start one of Rashee Rice, Deontay. Oh, dude, you gotta adjust your thinking on Deontay. Okay. Yes, it's Deontay. Osborne or Judy. I guess Judy. I might be an Osborne hater. Which is weird because in the offseason, I was hyping him up. It's like I was the only KJ Osborne hype man in the universe. And now I'm like, whatever. He's just a guy. I mean, he is just a guy, but maybe so is Jerry Jeudy. I'd probably go with Judy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Musgrave. I'd go with the Washington defense, but the Kansas City defense is solid. Is a good play. I have the Kansas City defense in one league, and I'm starting them pretty much every week. Like they're good. They're good. They're putting pressure on the passer. So I do think that they can be regarded as an every week start in fantasy formats. Oh, okay. Cardinals bye isn't until the week 14. So there you go. Pittman or no. You got to start Pittman. One thing about Gardner Minshew under center is that we're going to get lots of target volume for the Colts, the pass catchers. Okay. I think it pretty much locks in. I have a stray hair I'm trying to tamp down. Yeah, what am I saying? Okay, yeah. So Gardner Minshew is going to throw 40 plus passes in more games than not going forward. That's fantastic for Pittman. It's good for downs. My buddy and colleague at Rotoworld, Zach Kruger, wrote about Josh Downs this week. You can check it out in his expected fantasy points piece on the website right now. Josh Downs is leading in first read targets from Gardner Minshew this year. That's awesome. Like, I think that really shows that he's going to be a primary part of this passing attack. And even though they're short, scammy targets, that's fine. We'll take it. I mean, remember, you probably picked up Josh Downs off the waiver wire. I know that upsets folks in the not in my league Twitter. Not in my league X, whatever you want to say, where they say, "Oh, Josh Downs, I had to draft him in the 4th round." So Pittman's locked in for 8, 10, 12 targets a game. Pat asks, Jalen Warren or Jackson Smith and Jigba. I guess Jalen Warren. I can't in good conscience say JSN. Thank you, Cris. Appreciate it, and I'm glad to see a fellow Marylander in the chat. Devontae Smith or Addison. I go with Devontae. Should I trade Jefferson? Oh, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I can't think on my feet like this. Also, I got to get to more questions. Listen, we have 15 minutes left. We have 14 minutes left. Just to reset. I'm Denny Carter. You can find me on X at CDCarter13. You can find me on Blue Sky, where I'm posting more and more at CDCarter13 as well. We love our Blue Sky, don't we, folks? Check it out there. Make sure you don't sell yourself too short on Jefferson. But I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to cashing in, to getting like a wide receiver 2 and a running back 1 in exchange for Jefferson. Something along those lines. Do we have confirmation if Zach Evans is going to start on Sunday for the Rams? No. KJ, we do not have confirmation. In fact, we have the opposite of confirmation. We have a pure conjecture that is becoming more confusing by the hour. So I don't really have a great feel for this. I will say, honestly, not trying to be funny or anything, I will say that there's a possibility that Zach Evans is a healthy scratch this week. Okay, like that's the sort of uncertainty we're working with right now. Okay, is this guy even going to play? And if he plays, are we talking about 4, 5, 6 carries? Are we talking about 15 carries? Are we talking about who's going to run the pass routes? Who's going to get the targets? We don't know. We don't know, folks. It's driving me insane. I wish I had more. I mean, maybe we'll get clarity. Sometimes what happens is on like a Saturday, beat writers will get a better feel for how things are going to break down in the backfield, and they'll tweet about it or whatever. So maybe we'll get that. We'll be on the lookout. Okay. Desperation spot start. You can't start Henderson. Yeah, you had to start. I think you had to start Mason. Start Mason there. Komet or Njoku. I'd go with Njoku. Lockett. Oh, what? Yeah, no, you got to go Lockett. Come on. What? By the way, Lockett is dominating end zone targets for whatever that's worth. I'm sure that makes you feel great. How patient should? Oh, so if you have better options, I think what I mean is if you have options that have been more productive and are seeing good opportunities, then don't feel like you have to play T. Higgins is what I'm saying. Live action gargoyles. I'm sorry, man. I'm not familiar with gargoyles. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just forgetting. I'm very old. I traded Justin Field, Mostert, and Garrett Wilson and Najee for Jefferson. I think that's good. I think you did well for yourself. Should I be concerned about Devontae Smith's hamstring? Well, watch Devontae Smith's Friday practice participation. I think he should be okay though. Right. Sean McVay seems non-committal to Zach Evans, probably committee. Yeah. In the flex, Metcalf, Johnson, and Cooper. Metcalf might not play this week. He hasn't practiced. He's battling a hip injury and something else. I can't remember what. I like Deontay. I think if you have Deontay Johnson on your team, you should find a way to start him. I talked about him earlier in the stream. If folks want to check it out, I feel like he's a great start. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I expect him to play a full complement of snaps, to run all the routes. The Steelers will probably be chasing points in this game. I think he's in a good spot. All right. Well, still, would you trade Gabe Davis and Jeff Wilson for Christian Watson? Yeah, I would. I would do that. I think Watson's upside is greater than Gabe Davis's in that offense, and who cares about Jeff Wilson, honestly? I don't know. I can't help with that right now. Victor wants to know Wan'Dale Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, or Osborne over Judy. I kind of think you start Wan'Dale over Judy. I just realized you talk a little bit like David Duchovny. I have been compared to David Duchovny literally since I was 13 years old. And I was a huge X-Files fan. And they said, well, you just like X-Files because you look like and act like David Duchovny. And I said, no, I just like the show, guys. Is that okay? But yeah, I mean, the truth is out there, obviously. I want to believe. Denny, help. Who should I start at my flex? McLaurin, Osborne, or Downs? Your Downs bad. No, I'm kidding. McLaurin. Craig Reynolds or Zach Evans? You go with Reynolds. Go with Reynolds. All right. Rasheed or KJ? Man, you're really cutting the last names out here. I'd go with Osborne. Flowers or Gabe Davis over Amari Cooper. I'd go with Flowers. No, wait. No, Watson is back this week. I think you're playing Cooper. You're playing Cooper. Sorry. Forget what I said. I'm begging you. In the flex, Brian Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Judy Osborne. What did you do? 15 options. Blah, blah, blah. I like Brian Robinson. I know I just talk constantly about Deontay Johnson. Okay, but I do. I think Brian Robinson is in a low key good spot. The Giants are a little bit of a run funnel. He's running. I think Brian Robinson is running enough routes where he can still be relevant for PPR purposes. Like we saw last week, he caught a touchdown on a screen. Folks forget. I have not forgotten. Here, hey, let me tell you about the teams being targeted, being attacked via the slot this season. Just real quick before we end here, we have about 6 minutes left. So, like I mentioned earlier, the Rams are giving up a 41% target share to slot receivers this season. That leads the league by a hefty margin. The Seahawks are second at 38%. Then the Saints, and we saw Christian Kirk, who runs most of his routes from the slot. You know, Kirk roasted New Orleans last night from the slot. So Rams, Seahawks, Saints, and then Bengals, Lions, Falcons, Vikings, Dolphins, Giants, Eagles. That's the top 10 defenses giving up the highest target share to slot receivers. What does that mean for week 7? Well, it would mean that, let's see, the Lions playing against the Ravens. That could be good for Mark Andrews, who runs a lot of his routes from the slot. It could mean good things for Zay Flowers, who runs enough slot routes to kind of register here. Seahawks second in this category. I guess this would primarily, I'm trying to find kind of the breakdown here for the Cardinals for the slot. And this is good podcasting here, folks. Let me tell you. Yeah, Rondell Moore leads the team in slot routes this year. He runs 71% of his routes from the slot. So I guess he would be the primary beneficiary here. Although Michael Wilson, 30% slot rate, so he could benefit as well. And then you get down to like the Dolphins being exploited via the slot a little bit. Let's see, Devontae Smith runs about 28% of his routes from the slot. So he has that going for him. But it's actually Quez Watkins who leads leads all Eagles in slot rate at 86%, but he's really just not playing much. So actually, I guess it would actually be Dallas Goedert. Goddard runs 55% of his routes from the slot. So that would work out in his favor. All right, folks. A few more minutes of questions. Get them in. Week 7. Thank you for joining me once again, as per the usual. I go with Dobbs, I think, in the flex. Lockett, Addison, Flowers. Man, that is tough. I'll give it to you, Jerry. You got me. I'll go with Flowers. Would I start Craig Reynolds, Ingram, or Algier? Well, if your RB1 is Bijan Robinson, then I would not start Algier. I would start Craig Reynolds. I'd start Craig Reynolds anyway. There you go. Let's see. What did I miss? Anybody? Did I miss? I kind of scrolled, kind of uncontrollable scrolling there for a minute. Pittman or no? I thought I got that. All right. Well, it doesn't look like I missed any. All right. Here's a question. Trade Diggs and Khalil Herbert for Jonathan Taylor. What? Oh, okay. I mean, look, I'm not trading away Stefan Diggs. Again, we do not get too cute, and that Mark Martinez, if that's your real name, that's too cute. It's too cute. Downs or Reynolds? Josh Downs. Get Josh Downs in your lineup. I mean, don't force him into your lineup, but over other fringe options, I think he makes a ton of sense there. All right, folks. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think we are going to wrap it all the way up. Check out all of our content, #content on the Rotoworld website. You can check out Rotopat's rankings, okay, which are changing by the minute here as injury news comes in on a Friday, including Pat Freiermuth being out again, but that doesn't matter. It's probably good for Deontay Johnson. This is the theme of today's stream: is play Deontay Johnson. So you can check out Rotopat's rankings. You can check out Zach Kruger's analysis on the site, including his Friday piece on expected fantasy points. Kyle Dvorchak's 32 stats for week 7. You can check out my regression files, Matthew Berry's rankings, highlights from the Fantasy Football Happy Hour, including my appearance today. I got to go on with the guys. It's fun chatting it up with Matthew and Connor and everybody else. Folks, thanks for joining me for this Q&A for week 7. I'll see you next week for week 8. If we can make it there, we're going to make it there. All right. And in the meantime, folks, don't get too cute.